Good morning, everybody. We are here on Tuesday, October 6th with our reading lesson for the day. And we have another similar looking pages that we had yesterday, but what we're focusing on is a little different. Today, we're going to be reading a story called Who's Louder? And then we're going to be discussing the characters, the setting, the problem, and the solution. So we've talked about this a lot this year so far. Characters are who are the people or the animals in the story. Do you remember what the setting is?
Yeah, the setting is going to be where or even when the story takes place.
Yes, and then what is the character's problem? What problem are the characters facing? And usually a story will tell us how they solve the problem. And that's question 4. How do the characters solve their problem? So we're going to read this story together. I'll read the first half, Miss Marquardt can read the second half, and then we're gonna do the questions on this page together. So you can just copy this side, and then there's another page that's exactly like this with the same questions, just a different story that you guys are gonna do on your own after we do this one together. So let's get started. Who's louder? There was only one area left in the grasslands. Elephant and lion both arrived at the area hoping to claim it as their own. When they both saw each other, they told each other to go away because they both thought they were there first. Elephant and lion both wanted to claim the land but could not decide who should get it.
Lion had an idea, which was to have a contest to see who could make the loudest noise. They would find a judge to stand on the other side of the grasslands to see who is the loudest.
I'm kind of bummed that I don't get to find out who ended up being the loudest and getting the grasslands, but I'm glad that they found a solution to their problem.
Yeah, they found a way to work together too, which is really nice. But who gets the grasslands? I guess that's up to you.
All right, so now that we've read it, we're gonna go through and answer these questions. And we always wanna make sure that you're answering in complete sentences. So, first question says, who are the characters? Ms. Marquardt?
Well, even the picture kind of gives it away for this one, but if I went back to the text, we could even find the words elephant and lion in the first couple sentences of our paragraph here. But you mentioned something about complete sentences.
Yeah.
I know it's easy to just write elephant and lion, but that's not a sentence.
And that's not what second graders do. Maybe first graders, not second graders.
Nope. So in order to write it in a complete sentence, we would need to take a couple words from the question and put them into our answer. So who are the characters? We could write the characters are elephant and lion.
Yeah, and we always want to start with a capital letter.
Yep.
So the characters are, and I noticed that they capitalized the names elephant and lion, so I'm going to copy that.
Yeah, I think those are their names in the story as well as the kind of animal they are. Kind of reminds me of Frog and Toad from that book series.
And lion. I went a little bit off the page, so if you needed to come down here, and do you want to erase that for me so that I can show them in case they have the same dilemma I do?
Don't write on your table at home.
Elephant and lion. If I need to come down here and put my period to finish my sentence, that's okay. We can do that. All right. Question 2 says, what is the setting? And we know that the setting is where and sometimes when the story takes place. I don't know that there's a when, but I do know that there's a where.
Yeah, so in this story, it doesn't tell us the time of year, but it tells us where they are during the story. In fact, it tells us in the very first sentence. It says that there was one area left in the grasslands. So that's actually where the story is taking place.
Grasslands.
But we can't just write grasslands on the line because that's not a sentence.
No.
So this time, instead of writing the characters are, we're going to write the setting is the grasslands.
Awesome. The setting is the grasslands.
And in case you didn't know, the grasslands are land with a lot of grass.
Yeah. You're not going to see like a lot of mountains and hills and stuff like that. It's usually pretty flat with just a lot of grass. I kind of liked going back and underlining the answer, so I think I'm going to rewind a little bit and make sure I underline the answer for the first one, elephant and lion, because it's just good practice to underline when you find the answers. We'll do that for the next two.
Okay, yeah, and smart second graders, they definitely go back to the text to find their answers.
Definitely.
All right, the next question is asking about the character's problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember they had a little bit of a debate. They weren't sure who arrived at the grasslands first, and they wanted to be able to claim that land as their own.
Yep.
So I think the problem is not knowing who arrived first.
Yes. So we need to write that in a complete sentence, and if I said not knowing who arrived first, that might not be. So
true.
Maybe I could say the problem was they didn't know who arrived first.
Let's start with the problem.
Do you want to write it?
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to start with that capital letter, and I'm going to write the problem was they, which means elephant and lion, didn't. I'm realizing I'm writing very large. Whew, that's so they can see it. The problem was they didn't, oh dear, I'm gonna have to write on the table. Don't you write on there. Was they didn't know who.
So you guys can write smaller than Miss Marquardt, since you're not needing to show this to a group of 50 plus second graders.
If you write on your kitchen table, mom or desk, get really mad.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep it on the paper. All right, but that is the correct answer. They didn't know who arrived first, and
where was that in here?
oh, that's true. So I see they wanted to claim the land, but could not decide who should get it. So
they thought they were both there first.
Yeah,
too,
they kind of go together.
Yeah.
They were having the issue of we didn't know who got there first, and so we don't know who gets the land. It was kind of like whoever gets there first gets it, but they both thought they were there at the same time.
And then the lion came up with a brilliant idea that answers question 4, how do the characters solve their problem? So it said, if I go back to the text, lion had an idea which was to have a contest to see who could make the loudest noise. And then another animal would go judge standing on the other side of the grassland. So a contest to see who was louder, basically.
Wow. I have a feeling since I write so large, I don't know I'm going to be able to write all of this. So maybe I could shorten it by just writing, of course in a complete sentence, but just mentioning the contest. So how do the characters solve their problem? I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to write a little bit smaller. I'm going to write they solve it by having, what do they have?
A contest.
A contest.
Look at you fitting it all on one line.
I have learned from my previous mistakes, Mrs. Grant, and I have adjusted my font size, and I did not write on your kitchen table this time either, so that's good. All right, now we were able to do this whole page together, which was great. We talked about the characters, we talked about the setting, the problem and solution, but we have something for them to do as well.
On the other side. So if you need to finish this, you can pause it and finish writing. The problem was that they didn't know who arrived first. They solve it by having a contest. And in the meantime, we're going to flip it over and show you what you're going to do on your own. Our other Tuesday story that says on your own at the top is called A Good Team. So it looks like you're going to have a story about a chameleon and a crocodile, hint, hint, characters. And it's probably going to tell you where it's taking place. I mean, they're trying to cross a river. And they're going to have a problem, and they're going to solve that problem. And you guys are going to tell us all about it in 4 complete sentences with a capital letter and a period at the end, right?
You can do it.